On the morning of March 31st, 2026, tens of thousands of Oracle employees opened their laptops and found they had been locked out. No meeting had been scheduled, no manager called, no HR representative sent a calendar invite. What arrived instead was a 5-line email from a sender identified only as Oracle Leadership, timestamped 6 a.m. It informed them that their role had been eliminated as part of a broader organizational change. By the time most had finished reading, system access, Slack, VPN, badge entry was already gone. The scale of what Oracle executed that morning is not in dispute. Up to 30,000 employees terminated in a single day, roughly 18% of the global workforce, the largest workforce reduction in Oracle's 48-year history. But there is a side to this story that has received far less attention. In the quarter immediately preceding the layoffs, Oracle reported a 95% increase in net income, $6.13 billion. Revenue was up 22%. Their contracted revenue backlog stood at $523 billion, up 433% from the prior year. Oracle did not cut 30,000 jobs because the business was contracting. It cut them because the business is expanding in a direction that no longer requires the workforce that built it. And when you follow the money, the picture that emerges is a deliberate capital decision, executed at a speed and scale that the enterprise technology industry has not seen before. Oracle has committed to spending an estimated $156 billion on AI data center infrastructure, GPU clusters, server hardware, power capacity, the full physical foundation for a rapidly expanding AI cloud portfolio. That number is not a projection. It is a commitment, and it is growing every quarter as more AI contracts stack up. Here is the real driver behind the layoffs. Eliminating up to 30,000 positions is expected to free between $8 and $10 billion in annual cash flow. That money goes directly toward closing the gap between Oracle's capital obligations and its available financing. You see, Oracle has already taken on approximately $50 billion in new debt in fiscal year 2026, $15 billion more than they told investors just months earlier. U.S. banks had pulled back from financing the data center expansion at that scale, so Oracle turned inward. The restructuring charge disclosed in the March 2026 SEC filing confirms what that decision cost: $2.1 billion for the fiscal year, with $982 million already paid out in severance through the first 9 months alone. And that budget had been quietly raised by $500 million in March, up from $1.6 billion in December, a signal that the cuts ran larger than originally planned. The same week those termination emails went out, Oracle finalized a $16.3 billion financing deal for a single data center campus in Saline Township, Michigan. Analysts have described it as the largest single-facility technology debt package on record. 30,000 termination emails, one data center, same week, same balance sheet. To put that trade-off in direct terms, the $8 to $10 billion Oracle expects to recover annually through these cuts is approximately what the company spent servicing the debt it took on to fund the infrastructure those employees helped build. They funded the next decade of Oracle's growth by eliminating the people who delivered the last one. The cuts were not distributed evenly. Oracle's Revenue and Health Sciences division and its SaaS and Virtual Operations Services group each saw reductions of at least 30%. NetSuite's India Development Center was swept across every level: individual contributors, project managers, senior leadership. India overall lost an estimated 12,000 positions, approximately 40% of Oracle's entire India workforce, in a single morning. The roles most heavily targeted? Database administrators and solution engineers, mid to senior technical positions, not entry-level headcount. Oracle's own data indicates that AI agents now handle roughly 94% of the tasks that database administrators previously performed manually: maintenance cycles, monitoring, incident response. In Austin, a team of 47 database administrators was reduced to 3 senior architects, whose job is now to supervise automated systems rather than operate them. Solution engineering work that previously required 6 weeks of staffed project time is now completed in 6 hours using AI tooling. These are not peripheral roles. Database administration was the technical heart of Oracle's enterprise business for decades. The people being cut built and maintained the systems that Oracle's entire client base runs on. And yet the company's own productivity data made the case for their elimination. And then there is the pattern that multiple former employees have reported publicly. In the months before March 31st, Oracle asked a number of staff, technical writers, engineers, operations leads, to document their workflows in detail for what was described as internal training purposes. Several have since stated they believe they were effectively used to train the AI systems that replaced them. Oracle has not commented on those accounts. One of those employees had worked at Oracle for 3 decades. Consistently high performance reviews, restricted stock units issued in lieu of cash bonuses. Her layoff notice arrived by phone on March 31st, while she was driving to the hospital for back surgery. The termination triggered an immediate loss of health coverage and forfeited unvested stock that had accumulated over years of service. She is one of thousands with a version of that story. There is also the question of who else was caught in these cuts. A significant number of those terminated were in the United States on H-1B visas. Under current immigration rules, they have a 60-day grace period to find a new employer or leave the country. 60 days in an industry where hiring processes routinely take 3 to 4 months. One affected worker described being given 10 days' notice with a 7-month-old infant at home. Another wrote publicly, "Because I am on an H-1B visa, this is not just a job loss. It is the end of my life in the United States. Everything I have built over nearly a decade will be gone in a matter of weeks." By mid-April, more than 600 former employees had signed a formal letter to Oracle management requesting increased severance, extended health care, and other transitional support. Oracle responded that it would address concerns on an individual basis. We have seen a version of this before. Beginning in 2012, IBM progressively eliminated its legacy systems workforce, mainframe support engineers, on-premises infrastructure teams, while redirecting capital toward cloud services and consulting. At the time, it drew significant criticism for the scale and the speed. Within a decade, the same approach became the standard operating model across the enterprise technology sector. Oracle is running the same play, faster, and at a scale IBM never attempted within a single fiscal year. The broader pattern confirms this is not a company-specific decision. Since October 2025, Amazon has reduced its workforce by approximately 30,000 employees. Block eliminated 40% of its staff in February 2026, with CEO Jack Dorsey explicitly framing it as anticipatory. Better to cut once at scale than to make piecemeal reductions over time as AI tooling matures. The rationale is consistent across all of them. The logic is simple, but cold. Fulfilling $523 billion in AI infrastructure contracts requires physical data centers, not database administrators. Data center construction is a capital expenditure, recorded once. A workforce of 162,000 is a recurring operating cost, recorded every quarter. On March 31st, Oracle chose the option that looked better on a balance sheet, and every enterprise technology company with a comparable legacy workforce is now watching closely to see whether the bet pays off. Database administration was once one of the most stable, well-compensated career paths in enterprise technology. Oracle's restructuring makes clear that assessment no longer holds. When a team of 47 can be reduced to 3 without any corresponding loss in operational capacity, the role has been structurally altered, not merely downsized. The same applies to ERP implementation specialists, on-premises support engineers, and solution engineering teams built around structured, repeatable deployment work. Oracle's own productivity data shows AI tooling has compressed that work from weeks to hours. The headcount required to perform it has decreased accordingly. The roles that were not eliminated in this restructuring share a common characteristic: judgment that extends beyond task execution. Systems architects designing the environments in which automated agents operate. Client-facing strategists translating technical complexity into business decisions. The 3 architects now overseeing what 47 administrators used to manage directly. Oracle's restructuring budget still has approximately $1.1 billion unspent as of the March filing. The fiscal year closes May 31st. Additional charges, and the headcount reductions that accompany them, are expected before that date. According to Bloomberg, Oracle will remain cash flow negative through at least 2030. The pressure on operating costs is not easing. If anything, it increases as the capital commitments grow. For workers in enterprise technology whose roles sit inside legacy system administration, structured implementation, or on-premises support, Oracle just published the case study that describes what comes next for those functions across the industry. Oracle reported its best growth quarter in 15 years, a market capitalization above $400 billion, a contracted revenue backlog of $523 billion, and on the same morning those numbers were sitting on the books, 30,000 people received a 5-line email and lost their health insurance before the business day had started. In that same period, Oracle extended its incoming chief financial officer a stock package valued at $26 million. So I will leave you with this. Was eliminating 30,000 jobs the only viable path to funding Oracle's AI build-out? Or did the company choose to absorb that cost through its workforce because they were the only ones who could not push back? Leave your take in the comments. I'm Marcus, and I'll see you in the next one.